So let's get started. It is 6:35 p.m. I need some people to approve the minutes from last time.
I approve.
Motion.
Susan and Kimberly have approved the minutes. For the president's report, I honestly don't have anything that will not fall into someone else's. Teresa, do you have anything?
No.
We're awesome.
Woo-woo.
Let's see, treasure report, Michelle and Kimberly.
Okay. Kimberly, you want to talk about what we're doing on QuickBooks?
We are up into July, reconciling. We're getting there. As Michelle pointed out to me, July is when we started taking in money for the band cards. So we're just putting together a strategy for getting all of those band card sales recorded without driving us both crazy for every single sale. So I think figured out a way to do that. And hopefully we'll get that done fairly quickly and get all that caught up.
Yeah, every time we think we're rolling and cooking with gas, something else happens. It's like, oh no, now we got this. Mr. Long, did you say something? You looked like you did.
You're
Can't hear
muted,
you.
Stephen.
And see, I told a joke. It's no good anymore. It wasn't good. But you get the pandemic, like that's kind of what that was. And if we're through the end of July, then we have the data we need to file our taxes from that
Right,
previous year.
exactly.
Once we have a minute to kind of breathe and get that done, because that's coming May.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep. Yep. And so if you would let me share my screen, I'll pull up the other. You already did.
Yeah, you should be good.
Where is it? Thought I had it open. Hang on one second. Let me pull it up.
It's because you're over there in space with the Aurora Borealis behind you.
That's what it is. Where'd it go? It's on my screen, but it's not showing up here. Hold on, let's try that again. There it is. Okay, can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So there's a lot of checks that I wrote for February, and I didn't write them down because they were written at the end of February. So there's a lot of payroll and reimbursement checks that were written in the last week. So there's a lot of outstanding checks, but I only did the ones that are older. So you can see there's what, a handful of checks that amount to about 1,400 that are still outstanding. Some of them go back a good ways. Couple of the Chicago reimbursements that I still need to, I guess I need to reach out to them again and find out. The last time I talked to Beja's mom, she said she still had it. She just hasn't had a chance to deposit it. So, I mean, at some point it's going to expire. So I need to figure out how she wants to deal with that. And at this point, they may want to hold on to it in their account and apply it towards dues for the school year, if that's okay.
Well, Beja's a senior, so she can't do that.
Oh, she can't do that. Okay. So anyway, we started the month with 68,150.58 with deposits of 11,468.15 and wrote checks in the amount of 6,867.12. The only fee that we have every month is our QuickBooks fee, $15. So everything else is checks. And then our ending balance was 72,751.61. And we are, like Kimberly was saying, we're really close to getting a system going and getting things reconciled so we can actually give you budget numbers. Like I know that Renee wants to see what concessions look like. I think we're getting pretty close to being able to give that to her so that they can plan for forward and see how well they did. But not quite there yet. But anyway, so that's our numbers, and we're working hard to get this reconciled so that we can get our taxes filed, and that before I step out, my goal is to get all this done so that whoever is taking over Kimberly's, ooh, feedback. I'm sorry, guys. So Kimberly's not trying to bring them up to speed with a big backload of stuff to do too. So my goal. I think that's all. Kimberly, do you have anything else?
No, I don't.
I have 2 questions, Michelle. Did you see that I sent through the PayPal for 3,000? It should be in our account now. And how are we on people paying their winter guard fees?
So we, the majority have, let me pull that up and look. I won't share that screen, but
Yeah, as I don't make sure you don't have any like people's names on there.
yeah, it has their names, so I'm not going to share the screen, but tell you.
I know I've had a couple have asked what their balance is.
Okay.
And I need to probably get with you offline
Okay.
from everyone with individuals.
It looks like everybody except for one student has paid at least one payment. There's actually everybody but one has paid 2 payments. Everybody else, there are a few that are fully paid, but there are still some that are, the 3rd payment is outstanding. And I can give you that list. Actually, I think, Anissa, you have access to it, so you can look at it. If you need me to send the link to you again, I'm happy to do that.
And we had no scholarships for winter, right, Mr. Long?
I think we had 2 50%.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you're
I
right.
shared that, didn't I? I absolutely didn't mean to do that. I shared
No, we
that
didn't see
screen.
it. We
Oh,
just
good.
saw the bank thing that you had put together. We didn't see the other.
Oh, fantastic. I was about to freak out. I was like, oh no, I did it anyway. So yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 students who still owe the 3rd payment, 1 student who owes all 3 payments. One of the parents has emailed and indicated that she knows she's late on the 3rd payment, but that she's going to be delayed on that because she was having medical issues. So we'll make a note of that so that you don't call her and say, where's your money? Because we already know she's having issues. So and so does that answer your question, Angela?
Yeah, I was just wondering where we were on it. I didn't, you can't talk, but yeah, you're good. Thanks.
And it's similar for the percussion as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I can look at that too.
The
'Cause that'd be
stimulus
good.
is coming.
For you to
Sorry?
holler at me about, that'd be good for you to holler that at me.
Okay, I can
get
do that.
with Danielle and track anything there that we need to. So we're here at the end. We want to make sure they get that settled up, and want to make sure people know if they owe, because they can't deposit for next year until they're cleared back out.
Right.
And she has
Michelle?
access to that as well. So
Okay.
Danielle has access to that spreadsheet.
Okay.
Look at it.
And I'll look at that. How difficult would it be to pull a kind of what we've spent, like what Winter Guard has spent out of our budget? Is that easy or difficult? Just kind of what we've spent so far?
If I can,
I don't
if
need it
you'll
like,
give me about a week, I
Yeah.
can probably do that. Because I'll need to, since I'm reconciling backwards, I've been inputting the older checks and not the current ones into QuickBooks, but I can do that and that would give us the ability to update. So give me about a week and I should
Okay.
be able to give that for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Is that it for treasurers? Going once, going twice. Susan's turn, VP Communications report.
Oh, there we go. I sent out the copy of the newsletter for tonight. There's a lot of information in there for once. We're going to be a big one this week. We've got the Winter Guard competition in there. Sign Up Genius is at the top. Get everybody to start signing up on that. We also have the interest meeting with the Zoom link in there from last week with all the dates in there as well. Leadership applications will be in there. And then the what's coming up section, a lot of dates. Am I missing anything? because there was a lot of things out there.
I'll scroll through it when we get done. I've built a place I'm going to share with y'all here in a minute where a lot of that kind of stuff is living also,
Okay.
even outside the band app too, that we can send people to if they have questions.
And then I've put in the Etowah Cares for tradition for March 8th. And that's pretty much it. So the big thing is going to be all the dates we have coming up.
Awesome. You're so good with those emails every week, keeping everybody in check. Thank you. Jackie, fundraising report. Jackie. Do we know if Jackie's here? I see her name.
Yeah, she's here.
I'm here.
There
Okay.
she is.
Okay, like happened over the last week or so, the raffle tickets did sell out again. So that's done. Band cards, I've collected some more that are returned in and just a tiny bit of money. Trying to reconcile all of that all the way back through, work with Michelle a little bit over the weekend so that she can start invoicing out or asking for a return or however we want to handle it for people that still have them outstanding and I've never seen cards come back or money. It's really not that many people, but you know, if those of you who have access to it, which is a good portion of the board, can, you know, go in and see the spreadsheet of what that is. And then once we know when that comes back, there'll be a more realistic, I guess, number of what we actually sold. Again, with the band card, we tried doing online. That I still don't believe that it's a testament that people won't buy them online. You know, you have to buy them and deliver them. And that's a whole other conversation, whoever's going to take this over for y'all to have. But the bulk amount of card sales were in person as opposed to the bulk amount of raffle tickets were online. So interesting to know there. That's pretty much all I have at this point.
I know that you talked about Maple Street because that was going to happen right before the pandemic happened. I think softball is having a Maple Street something here pretty soon. So if we want to do that, I don't think there should be an issue with it. I know we talked about maybe having the seniors or somebody be the ones on hand there towards the end of the semester. But yep. I don't think there's any issue with that at all anymore. And then whatever we might want to do to go ahead and prep the band cards for next year, reaching out to folks now so we don't have to like do it quickly. And I think we talked Madison Dodd's mom, Michelle, right? I know all the kids really well, and I know everybody's last name, but had voiced some interest in helping out with that. So maybe we can hook her up with you. Maybe you kind of show her the ropes a little bit and get her to give you some assistance with doing that. And maybe we see if she can help out with the Maple Street thing too. Get her involved there. So I know she's pretty involved in lots of different things. So she'll be a good asset regardless anyway, just around the Etowah zone.
Mm-hmm. I think
no, absolutely.
I'm in a board meeting. So yeah.
I think Susan Honea, who I see on there, Susan, did you have interest in that too? I swear your name was mentioned at some point.
I get voluntold for a lot. And just to lay it out there, I'm officially retiring from PTA on June the 10th or something like that. It's like 106 days from now. I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah. So I'll have a lot of flexibility to do whatever is required. So however I can help, I'll help, including if you don't have somebody to do your 990, I can do it for you for free.
Awesome. We use a group called PBUSA, Parent Booster United USA, and they have a wizard we fill out, and then we pay them a little bit of money. It's pretty simple if you have all the numbers, and we've worked real hard the last couple of years. We had an accountant that was the treasurer, and she just handled it, and nobody knew what to do. So last year and the year before last was a pretty quick learning curve, but I'm sure that the treasurer ladies would love to get your input on that. And if filling out 990s is something that we can handle, I know, if we were our own nonprofit entity and not under their umbrella, that affords us to use that tax ID number a little bit more specifically. Because like I think Angela or Bethany or somebody was able to do some stuff where work will match. And instead the check shows up made out to PBUSA, and then we have to go through a process to get that check rewritten. And if it's our own number, then it's our own thing. But I also don't want to change our organization name. So that may be some good conversations, Susan.
Absolutely. Happy to help.
Awesome.
Thank you. Anything else, Jackie? Nope.
Thinking of, okay, I have a senior, you think I would know this stuff, but like, I know they're done a little sooner than the rest of the student body. So I'm trying to gauge of when would be a good time for them to do that, because unless we hit a holiday, it's not going to be high traffic. But I want to make sure we still have seniors around, because I really don't know if we want to put it in a break when people are gone. I was thinking of a date in May, when they were finally done more or less with their senior year, that they'd all, how many of them want to get together and just, it's only a 2-hour time period at Maple Street. That's how they run it. But I'm going to also reach out to Modern Woodman to see if they'll match what we bring in to help boost that one along. So that's where I'm at. What I need to find out is, when technically are they done with whatever testing and stuff they're going to put in there, and then get a date.
Yeah, it's usually 2 weeks before graduation. I think it's about how long, because they have to have time to calculate all the grades and all that kind of stuff. Somewhere in that, like 2 weeks from the end of the school year kind of window. It might be a little less than that, but they'll have graduation practice like up till about noon maybe, and they get to get out of there kind of early. So maybe something like right after, well, that'd be the end of Maple Street, because they close like 3:30 or something, don't they?
Yeah, their time slots are usually over with by noon or something like that.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. But I'll try to get with someone at the high school and see if they can give me more exact, and then I'll get a hold of Maple Street and get that set up.
Cool. You might even reach out to just to Sam's high school counselor. The counselors are like the gatekeepers of testing, so they could probably help you out.
Yeah. Okay. Then I was trying to think of anything else. Yeah, the faster you can get somebody moved in to help with the cards. Again, this doesn't expire until July 31st, but we definitely want to be ahead of some of the other people that might be putting one out this year. So that's just my thought process on it. If we want to keep some of these people on the card, it's a matter of calling them, and some of them just give a verbal over the phone or send an email. You ask them to send an email and you just write up the same thing. And if the ladies taking over want to bring in somebody else and replace anyone on the card, then absolutely, it's their baby. But yeah, the sooner we do that and get that in talks and all that, the better.
Jackie, I can't remember, because Mr. Long has to remind me of stuff and send me texts like I'm a toddler, but was I supposed to look into Chipotle? Because I know that we can set it up online and they'll give us a code to give to people, or were you going to do that? I can't remember, so just remind me.
I sort of remember the conversation, so I would say that I didn't pick it up.
Okay, I will text myself.
I know you have been, yeah.
I got you, Angela.
I need life help. Okay. Thank you, Jackie. Cindy and Don Wright. Operations.
Yes, well, lucky for me, Don Wright is playing chef right now, so y'all are just stuck with me. You're just stuck with Victor Rodriguez right now. So just a couple things. One, the tires were replaced on the main trailer, so we're good on that. For as far as indoor percussion goes, we were able to rent the truck. We were able to find somebody who would rent all 3 days. So the truck has been gotten. Guard was delivered their new cart this afternoon. And the indoor percussion cart is ready to be picked up. So Don Wright just needs to be able to make it down to Marietta to pick it up. But our goal is to have it for indoor percussion on Thursday, so they could load the floors on that and use it for Saturday's competition. Other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot going on with operations right now. Obviously, SAPA on the 13th, we're hoping it's going to move as smoothly as it did round one. That early morning call is going to be fun. But other than that,
Coffee.
yeah, man, lots of it. I'm going to call on my Cuban genes for that one.
That's different coffee, I've heard.
Yes, it is. It's
I've heard like New Orleans coffee, that chicory coffee is different, but I was watching a comedian the other day and they were like, no, that Cuban coffee, it comes in a tiny cup for a reason.
Oh my God, I know exactly which show, not to get into that, I know exactly what show you were talking about. And yes, there's a reason you get a small cup. And you know what, I may bring some with me because I do have an insulated thermos to share. We can get everything done within 15 minutes.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah.
And it's very yummy. Don Wright makes a mean Cuban coffee.
Nice.
But other than that, I think operations wise, that's it for us.
All right. Thank you guys for keeping the wheels on the bus going.
Literally.
And now I have it stuck in my head after you guys talking about Caillou, who is Satan.
I learned nursery rhymes on my guitar this weekend, so I'd be more than happy to serenade you.
Anything but Caillou. Okay, Mr. Long, you are up.
There's a billion things going now. It's like, it feels like old times, except I'm out of shape. Indoor has their first competition coming up on the 6th. Color Guard's got 2 under their belt, or the Winter Guard has 2 under their belt. And coming up on the next one, I think their next one's the Etowah River Ridge, isn't it? They don't have
Yes,
one in
sir.
between now and then. A nice wrinkle to SAPA because things are the way they are. We're asking, I think it's because SAPA's gotten so much maybe negative feedback on ticketing, to try and break both of our days into 2 sessions so we can resell the gym a second time, which I'm down for because that's, twice as much money. So I sent that to the county this morning. They just asked for a sample schedule to see what that would look like. And I should be able to send that to them tomorrow. And so that would, Michelle, that would change our GoFan plan a little bit. So hold tight on that. It would just be, front session 1, front session 2, back session 1, back session 2, all $12. It would just literally double our ability to sell tickets. We'd have to kick everybody out in between. And the question is the county going to be okay? About an hour is the most amount of time that we can spare because the judges have to get over to River Ridge on time, and because the 2 things are connected. And if not, it'll run exactly like it did before, where we just have the 1 session and we go all day. We just let everybody sit on the home side because that was fine. The day should start around, like, units will begin checking in around 8:30, and we should be, last group will be around 2-ish. So we should be, I'm thinking, cleaned up. Like, the coolest thing in the world, we walked over to go tear down the aux gym and it was done. Like, we didn't even get in the door and they're already headed out. So that was great. Having a team to put things away really makes a difference. So just making sure we've got what we need as far as our volunteers. And I've been telling the kids the biggest place where we were missing was the parent help. We needed about 4 more adults to help us out, 2 at check-in and 2 with warm-ups would have gone a long way to help expedite those things. So just trying to push that just a little bit. So I don't know if we can add that. It's kind of a, hey, we did really great last time, but it was a struggle in these 2 spots because we were down some parents. I think that might encourage a couple parents who might have been on the fence about helping to show up and sign up and help us out a little bit. We did fine. But that's kind of one of the things that kind of came up with SAPA this Sunday night.
Hey, Stephen.
Yep.
On that, for the warm-ups, are we going to look at splitting it out on the 13th or leave it the same way we had it last time?
I would like to, because one of the complaints everybody had was it was so cold outside and they didn't want to stand outside, which personally, bring a coat. Like, that's just me. That's just my dad. But and nobody let the performers were standing outside with no jackets on. Like, as a coach, like, let them wear the jacket for a minute. They'll go put it on the side or whatever. But that's just me. So going back to being cafeteria gym is spaces. One, it lets them use some of their music in the gym when they're doing their equipment warm up, which can be a really big boost as they're headed into the performance. And the flow of it just works a little smoother on our campus. And those cheer mats, while they worked, they're a bit sketchy. just from standing up, because they're not designed to be partitioned. So they work,
Right.
and if you need to do it again that way, that's fine. But I've asked for them to put us back kind of the way we've done it before. So that's that need for the extra push to have those
I was
extra
going to say,
parents.
we definitely need then extra people to do that.
Yep.
Norm and I handle it because it was all in one place.
Yep.
But if we have it split up, we'll definitely need more volunteers to help out with the warm-ups.
Yeah, the good thing is it's just one group in each space, but there's a lot more flow going on, a lot more to keep track of when they're two separate places, and making sure people don't use the wrong equipment and stuff. So I've been encouraging the kids to try and help encourage their parents to help out, and talking about there being 2 shifts and all that. So that, I think that'll work out pretty good, as long as we just kind of push that from the get-go when those come out, like, hey, we did great last time, and this time we're also going to have the ROTC is going to help out with some of the things like setup and the quiet police monitor stuff. And Hagerman says she's got a bunch already signed up because they've had lack of opportunities to do community service, and they can do a lot of that kind of stuff really easily, and that'll allow us as an organization to do some of those other things while not cutting into our own kids' service opportunities. So
We're still going to use classrooms versus hallways, correct? That
Yep.
works very
Once
nicely.
once I get a schedule, and I deleted the 4,000 building, it was too far away, and we had so many open classrooms. I was trying to be extra careful, but it was too much. And that's one more building to unlock and lock back up. And we'll just stick to the 7,000 and the 6,000 building. So they'll be relatively close to the warm up space anyway. And then the long walk will just be to the gym and not anywhere else. We also, I don't think we'll have an independent group, but I think the independent groups will be at River Ridge and not with us. So
We do have no, we don't. Never mind.
Did we also, or are we planning to reiterate to the kids that whatever they signed up for, they need to kind of stick to it? And if they don't, they need to let someone know, because that was one of the biggest issues we had in February. Was there was a lot of kids that had signed up for like quiet police or that kind of thing. And some of our varsity girls I know got pulled to help with the JV mats. And then others decided, I don't know if they decided or how it happened, they ended up getting pulled to be unit hosts, but nobody told Shiree that, nobody told me that. And so it got to a point where we didn't have enough people. And I know it sounds like with ROTC we'll have more help as far as that goes, but just to make sure that if they do switch a position, that they let somebody know that they are switching versus just kind of jumping into another job.
maybe we can add that to like the stuff for the check-in person to go over with everybody as they check in, because that'll be a little more personal and easier to remember. And the day of, hey, this is what needs to happen. As far as your position goes, like, this is where you need to be. We need to come find you for whatever reason. That needs to be where we find you. And if it's going to change at all, you need to let somebody know, because the kids aren't going to read some of the stuff that we'll put out if we just type it and send it out. Some of them will, but
I think one of the things that didn't happen this year that maybe has happened in years past is for the student volunteers, there was, we did it for unit hosts, but we didn't do it for all the other volunteers as far as, okay, here's what have that little meeting, because the kids were all kind of milling around at the beginning with not anything to do yet, because they were there a little earlier than maybe what we needed them to be. So maybe we could factor that in, designate somebody that wants to run that meeting and lay that out.
The other thing too is making sure the kids realize you don't need to be here, just because we're starting like the first position or the first whatever is volunteer is at, then it was noon or 1, but this time letting them know, like, double check what time you're due to come in. Because like you said, Anessa, a lot of them came in early and then they kind of felt, I think, like, well, why am I here? I don't need to be here. And
well, some of that is completely my fault, because I was worried we weren't going to be able to finish setup Friday night. And so I just let them think they needed to be there early, because I thought we were going to have to do a whole bunch in the morning. And that this time that's not the case. So my thought is to just have everybody report at 7:30. That's only an hour ahead of check-in. And that should be enough time, especially with as few folks as we have, to kind of get everything together. And maybe those of us who are helping get everything set up before the setup can show up maybe at 7 o'clock or so and give us a half hour to kind of set out some stuff. And that way there's stuff for people to do, because we handled a whole lot of stuff real quickly. And we got to do a ton of stuff the night before. And
Right.
like I said, that's totally on me with everybody getting there too early, because I thought that we were going to get messed up with the basketball tournament.
The only thing is if there's second shift, to make sure they don't get there at 7. Because
Correct.
obviously the second shift would need to be there. So, but yeah, that's cool. We definitely got a whole lot more done Friday than we thought we were going to.
And I know there were several students who had signed up for multiple slots, not realizing that like floor crew was all day, like you can't be unit host and floor crew at the same time because they overlap. But I think the shift will solve that problem.
We're probably going to need more kids than last time, because a lot of the varsity girls signed up and did stuff. Like Morgan did something, and she was one of the ones that got pulled for floors, but they won't be able to do that. And then also maybe reiterating that school dress code applies when you're volunteering for this.
I was going to say the same thing, Angela.
So that we don't have any issues, because that was awkward. But yeah, let's do that.
Yep. Let's see. I got an email notification today about our new uniforms. They're tentatively scheduled to ship out at the end of April to us. And he's going to send me a confirmation when he actually gets the ship out date. So those will probably arrive in May, sometime probably mid-May, depending on how long it takes to get here. I don't know how long it takes to ship uniforms. I'm sure they come on freight on a big truck. So that'll be fun. We'll want to have some folks on hand, get Chris involved in that, because she's been helping out with uniforms. Anybody else who might want to help us get those in and organized. And then I think with the old jackets, like once we're comfortable with everything fits and everything's the right color, and we like, sign off on the fact that it's exactly what it should be, we could look at finding a way to maybe sell some of the jackets to band student families and alumni for a certain dollar amount. And be kind of a fundraiser. They may want one, they could put in a shadow box or just put in their closet or whatever, because it's got our school logo and stuff on it. It'll be real hard for us to sell it on one of the marketplaces where people sell band uniforms secondhand. So, and then see what we have left. I know we put a ton of the old uniforms at the county storage center. I don't even know what happened to those, but they went away. I think that was the second year I was here. We put those finally went somewhere. So that's happening there. You saw today Ryan Laughlin made All-State tuba, and it is the top chair, the orchestra chair. So he did a great job with that. Drake and Sam, I still got to dig through a little bit of that. Just didn't have time this morning to finish digging through there and look at alternates. But they did a really good job with their videos from what I saw. And they'll be primed and ready for next year as well. And this year was extra crazy. So hopefully next year it'll be back to some semblance of the same. And we'll also hopefully have some more folks alongside them. The more people that are doing that, the better everybody is at those auditions. So I'm real proud of what they accomplished. District band is still not lined out. Like, they canceled All-State. That's not going to happen. They're going to do a virtual celebration, they said. But District Honor Band they're trying to have it, because it's more local, at Woodstock First Baptist. And so just getting the dates to work out, because Cherokee County is doing our LGPE around the same time, making sure all that works. Once those dates are nailed down, I'm going to nail down a spring into the year concert. We should go ahead and try between now and next meeting to nail down band banquet, a date for that, have it in the gym at school, to keep the cost down. I double checked today. We are not allowed to have food. So it's just an award ceremony, which will make it real easy. And we can just put the focus on celebrating the kids. So I'll work on getting the awards and things ordered, and then I'll get with anybody who wants to be my go-to person to run them over to Creative over on 92, and drop them off. Some of the ones that I use, like the John Philip Sousa and the Jazz Award, need to be engraved, and the other ones they'll make there. So just somebody pick those up, and then we'll have to cut checks for that. And hand out band letters and all those kinds of things. Sorry, dinner just shut up. trying to think of other things. I'm almost done securing all of our band camp staff. Got a couple more positions left to lock down, to have all that ready to go. I'm meeting with leadership tomorrow, current leadership tomorrow. They're going to help me with the Etowah Care stuff because I want them to spearhead that instead of me or y'all, because it's really, I mean, they're more than capable of, saying thank you to a teacher and taking some pictures and whatever else. We'll want to get some gift certificates. So I'll put that in the chat for the 3 faculty. Or it's I think Mr. Nix, Miss Yancey with custodial, and Miss Angie Kelly in the cafeteria. Thank all 3 of them with a little gift card, maybe some chocolate or something. I don't know. Have the kids go by with a card and say thanks. And then one of the days is like a little cleanup, and they just did a sign up genius with the school for school ground. So we'll just keep it simple and participate in that. And then let the kids figure out how they want to say thank you to the local businesses. We might have them go by. That happened at the pandemic last year. We had just taken those pictures. Jackie had gone out and done that with some flowers and stuff to State Farm, and I think Cheeseburger Bobby's and Game Day maybe, but go out and just say thank you to some of our partners as well. And of course, as a program, we're going to try and go eat at Family Traditions that night. And Susan put together that graphic for us so we can start sending out really as soon as it's ready to go ahead and get that word out for the Etowah Cares. Let's see. I need to formally get with Angela and Anessa and Teresa and talk about some of our open board positions. Because I also have to, part of my duties is to put together the nomination committee for all the slate of officers, make sure that we've got that. We've talked about it a couple of times, but it's time to like put it down and call people and make sure yay or nay on the positions that we have on the board that we need. And then we've got to get on the budget itself for next year. With Kimberly and Michelle, kind of not necessarily looking at this last year, but looking at the year prior to that and kind of what we spent on a normal marching season. We won't have to pay for our music, but we will have to pay for it next budget year because we pay for it early. So we have it in time. And really, it's going to be great having it so early this year that we may try and push all that planning up so we can make that a normal thing. I reached out to Georgia State. They're unsure about their competition as of now, just because the college itself, they're hoping to be able to provide that. So kind of been reaching out to some different competitions and stuff. I do want to share with y'all so y'all are aware. So screen share. I worked at building out a marching band specific website, and I changed this over here to Ensemble, so it's a little bit easier. So there's a marching band homepage, and then that takes you to the band app. But here's our preview we did last year on Labyrinth, so that remind the kids about what that's about: registration form, medical form, COVID waiver. If you're rising 10th through 12th grade, you're going to go through Canvas. There's the doctor page. Not raising 9th grader, there are all those forms for them, just like we did with Winter Guard, proof of insurance information, and a link to how you can do that if you don't have insurance, and payment plan sign-up forms, family commitment plan, scholarship application. I got to finish up the EHS handbook because we need to get back on our regulations and things. But just a place we'll post our virtual meeting here, but just a place for us to have a landing page for anything marching band. We've already got that for Winter Guard. We've already got that for indoor percussion. And then we'll make one for concert band as well. We just won't have as much stuff on it. And then, of course, if you didn't know, the Band Booster organization has its own homepage as well, with different things located here. And I'm behind putting the minutes in this year on the page. But just if you didn't know that existed. And it's real easy, ehseagleband.org/marching band. So I try to keep it social media friendly as well and not make a bunch of hyphens and spaces and stuff in there. Mostly the dates is just lots going on again, which is good to see. Kids are doing good on their music, and they're groaning a little bit because they're back to, oh yeah, I got to do it right every time. The accountability is back. Because we're going to go play for judges. And while the judges will be kind, they also have expectations for us as an ensemble. So that'll be good. We added a free spin clinic, which we talked about a little bit earlier, which I think is a great thing to do. We'll try and do it again for the winter season. Also where kids can come, or I guess just students, not kids, students can come and just see what Winter Guard is, or Color Guard is about, like, what is it, and not have anything hanging over their head about an audition or any money due or anything at all, but just kind of see what it's like. And if they like it, they can come back for the audition. And then we'll have a percussion camp kind of thing where the percussionists will come in, and Kyle and Eric will kind of figure out where they'll best be served, both skill level wise as well as for the percussion section, so we know who's going to play what instrument. And then everybody is going to come together May 17th. We'll do an hour of marching and an hour of music that week. We will need water duty folks. It'd be good to go ahead and get some water duty going for those dates, for the May dates.
Prior to that, do you think we should get in and clean up our room?
Yes, we just need to pick a day.
It's
The
a
whole,
hot mess.
all of it. Yeah, no, all, we just need like the light, set it on fire and make a bigger band room. But
I'm not
Then
sure
I
if I
frown
want
on
to
that.
do this or not. I'm not
You're
cleaning.
the big leader, cleaner. Come on,
When I clean, things happen.
right?
yeah, they get
There's
put
no
away.
one to complain this time.
I cleaned the band room and Corona happened. So go me. So I'm out. You guys have fun with that. I'll send in some Clorox wipes.
There you go. Do y'all have questions, band director questions for me?
I do have one question. Is there a place where the kids who are up and coming can start looking at the music for, like, either shows, dance tunes or anything
Yeah.
else?
They just don't know what part they'll be. Well, most of the rising freshmen will be on the second or third part, whatever the lowest one is, because it's more accessible. But they can access the EHS music folder. It's over under resources, I think. Well, no, because I think I changed that. Let me look real quick. Let's look together, so I don't show my email under recording. Yeah, resources tab, EHS master music folder. If you click on that, and then the password is intensity, all caps, and that'll let you. And then there's music. There's 4 years of marching band shows plus next year's plus all the stand tunes that we use, and now there's concert band music in there. There's tons of stuff for them to just play around in.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. I did talk with Mr. Johnson. He's emailing things out to his families for me. I'm gonna try and go over there Thursday and or Friday and talk to the 8th grade, because I haven't talked to them at all. I collected addresses, and so I'm gonna try and get with Robert at UPS store and see how much it costs to make up that many postcards, but branded EHS band, and then try and get our students to write like, hey, you should be in band. And then we'll put them in the actual mail and mail them out. So I've got to get moving on that pretty quick, but it's gonna be a simple postcard with like EHS band, whatever, and send out to those band students to hopefully encourage them. I think the statistic is takes 6 to 8 interactions before something sticks. So we got to try and get as close to that as we can between emails and different things. So we're working to try and do that. And then I'm going to try and take my roster from last year and see who's not currently in band, and just who are those digital folks that maybe are flying under the radar that kind of missed out this year, but will be back next year, and just make sure that they're aware of the information in case they want to hop back in, because I hope they do.
Okay, are we ready for committee reports? Renee, for concessions.
Hey, we didn't have a lot of traffic sadly, but so Glenn and I were talking, what can we do? And we've sold at football games family traditions biscuits before. They're pretty inexpensive and easy, so I'm thinking about getting some of those, because for morning, people may have not eaten before they come, whereas the last time we had Sapa or with River Ridge, there's so much fast food near us that they could come and get it on the way, etc. So we're seeing we might get some of that. So Gwen and I are talking about that to try to boost up some sales and make a little more money. But the good news is whatever we made was profit because everything was donated. But we may try to get some biscuits as well, just to sort of make some additional sales. And other than that, we're just looking forward to the new stand. Any news? I know it's under construction over there.
Looks like they're getting closer to trying to put in some kind of substructure over there. They've been moving dirt for a long time.
I know. They built a wall, moved a lot of dirt. Now I'm ready for our building to go up. So
It'll go once they get all that infrastructure in there. It'll and whatever permits they have to finish to build the actual building or inspections. It'll probably go quick because it's just a concrete building. It shouldn't take very long to put it together.
But it's not just, I thought they were doing a field house or something as well, not just concessions and bathrooms.
No, it is.
Right?
It's because the away team field house and concessions and bathrooms. So, but it's just a brick room.
It looks like they've got the biggest chunk of what takes the longest is that wall buildup of bricks, and it looks really good, on the backside.
Yeah. I sent Kelly over there. I'm like, Kelly asked me, are you guys ever going to stand? I said, have you not seen the construction? Because they're not coming over anymore since all their kids are gone. So she and Bob drove by. She's like, oh my God. I texted her. I said, make sure you go by during the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, just looking for a new stand. We'll be excited to have that. Other than that, nothing exciting with concessions these days. Hopefully we can cook it next year. Hopefully we'll have the ability to make food because we'll make a lot more money if we can make food.
Now I anticipate, and I'm sure there will be some more lingering COVID protocols. Hopefully as things are improving, but spring sports, other than maybe seating for spectators, seems to be going off pretty close to 100% like it normally would. As far as that particular season is going. So you talking to Kemper, I anticipate fall will be, if not back to normal, good, bad, or indifferent, we'll be back to, 80, 90%, if not, good luck, everybody. See you at the end of the year.
It looks like our schedule's pretty good that we finish in October, which is good because the warmer it is, the more drinks we sell, the more money we make. So I like that. I mean, hotter days are good because we sell a lot more drinks. We make a lot of profit off of those.
And we host Woodstock, if I remember right. So that's always a big one.
That's the last home game though, which is going to be a little tricky. But we'll budget. We'll pick out stuff well. We'll do good. Yeah, we have River Ridge is at us as well. That should be pretty busy because they had a good season last year, and they're super close. So I expect that would be a good. And I forget what else we had, but yeah, it looks pretty good.
Thank you, Renee. I feel like we should ask Teresa's cat if he has anything to say. Anissa, Winter Guard.
Lots of stuff happening in Winter Guard. Yay, thank you so much, operations, for our new cart. The JV is going to be very happy with that. 2 more competitions left. Championships are in Buford instead of Chattanooga. We'll be in 2 sessions. I was hoping that maybe some grace that both of our groups will be in the same session. Of course they're not. So varsity is going to be in session 1 and our JV will be in session 2. There is a meeting tomorrow night of SAPA directors via Zoom to discuss some ticketing challenges, issues, information. So I'll be attending that and we'll report back whatever there is to report back. But everything is progressing well. Our guards are doing, it's hard to remember that even though feel like we're later in the season, we're really not. So it's just good to see them spinning. Everybody's here. Everybody's healthy. So that's good.
And they got new swag.
They got new swag.
We got their backpacks and stuff. And I don't know, at least the kids I've talked to have appreciated that. Yeah,
they really love the new jackets, the new backpacks. We got a lot of compliments on them on Saturday at Kel, so as well as on both costumes for both groups. So that was a win-win. So just to kind of put it out there as we're thinking, I know next year it may seem real early to be thinking about it, but I know we'll probably need some bigger ticket budget items, new floor, some new, we're starting to maybe need some more new equipment, that sort of thing, new silks for sure. So
y'all want to go ahead and be pricing those out now, so we can
Okay.
just, because forecasting this year, we should be able to, if we can think about it ahead of time enough, have the winter guard budget be part of the budget we put forth to everybody. And so if we've got all that stuff priced out already, and again, like we talked about the sabers and rifles for winter guard, like if we use all of them, great. If we don't use all of them, we're going to need them in the fall anyway. So it's part of the guard program. So it's that, and we have them in hand now, and we don't have to wait on them for this fall or whatever. So they still will definitely get used. So if we can price out as much of that as we can, and I would ask, just because I'm curious, how much is a screen printed floor?
That would be amazing.
Because they're
that's our
super
challenge.
light. They're super light. They're beautiful. They're real easy to resell online to other folks around the country. I know that they're expensive, but they're really light because there's no paint on them. It's just thin vinyl, and they're easier to fold. And if you ever watch Paramount, that's what they've got. And then they look really sharp because you can literally put anything on them you want. So I'd just be curious how much those cost.
Yeah. And Cindy, there's one thing I'll get with you offline about that an operations matter that we need.
Okay.
Thank you, Anissa.
Thank you.
Indoor percussion ensemble. Mr. Long, didn't you already
Yeah.
cover? Or,
I think a little bit. They're going this weekend. Operations got the truck reserve with Penske, and if that works out, we may try and just use, if we like that, we might just use this a little closer. It's like what, $20 cheaper. They're going well. They actually happened upon quite a staff person by either happenstance or just because they know them. Lindsay Schuler has been working with them. I didn't know the name, but apparently she also works with Legends. So she works with our music arranger already. She's on staff with Carolina Crown. She does a lot of visual stuff around the country, and she's actually one of the up and coming female drill visual designers in the country, and is featured on Poware's site as well. So, and I think she only just charges us $500-600 for the stuff she's doing for us, which, with credentials like that and the things that she's able to bring to our students is like huge. So trying to see if we might be able to, because she's going to be busy in the fall, but at least get her to help with some of our design stuff with next fall, just to get some more ideas. And she's very prop minded and knows how to build it, which is an important part of it, not just coming up with it, but how to actually make it. So that's been super great. I know the kids were talking about different drill spots and different things today, and they're getting close to the end of their show. They've just got the 3 competitions. So there's the 6th, they're off a week, and then the 13th, and their final one's the same day as the finals for Winter Guard. But they're rocking and rolling. Drumline's getting better every time I hear them. For Ensemble's getting better every time I hear them. And since we hit February break, attendance has been much better everywhere. My classroom as well as rehearsals. And so I think both with Guard and Percussion, that progress, you can see just how much more you can get done at rehearsals with everybody there. And before now, it hasn't really been anybody's fault. It's just been really slow progress for everybody. And it's been kind of, it's frustrating for everybody because we know we can do more, but we really can't. And so I've really seen, even in class with the band kids, like we've gotten so much more done just because everybody's there. It makes such a huge impact. And that's why our attendance stuff is usually the way it is. Now we can really see that. But they're growing and moving and jiving. If we want to continue to have indoor percussion, we just need to make sure we secure a sponsor for next year. Because like I've said before, I just don't have the life available, the hours to be able to be there for that regularly, especially now. You just need to find a school personnel person. Kyle is super organized and on top of things and does a really good job of keeping up with that stuff. So I'm not worried about the administration of it. We've got to have somebody there to take care of field trips and be the on-purpose person as they travel and do different things. For next year, and of course, this year was an investigation into how much does indoor cost and where are we at as a program. But I think I'm talking to Kyle and Eric, we've grown as a percussion group through this particular season, and that'll help us in the fall dramatically be better on the marching field as well as concert band. the better in time you play, doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to be better at it. So.
Awesome. So we have SAPA, but we've covered everything for that, right? And LGPE, Allstate, and new business.
One thing I'd like to throw for new business is we are not paying Danielle anything for being a sponsor. And so I texted Michelle yesterday, and I would like the treasurers to investigate and see if we can afford to compensate her a one-time check here at the end of the season for her time around about the $1,000 mark, just to say thank you for the time she's invested in those students. She did it because her kid's doing it and she wanted to be able to support that. And she said she'd be fine if we didn't pay her, but she's really put in a lot of work. And I'd like to say thank you, at least on the same scale as some of our county stipends from Winter Guard. So kind of vote on that at the next meeting and have Michelle ready to go with that.
That would be awesome. Are we done? Did we do this in an hour? Come
Well,
on.
I do need somebody, and maybe we reach some fillers out, somebody to help put together the band banquet. It won't be as involved, but we still need somebody. I know Bethany did a lot with that last year. I don't know if she'd want to do it again this year, since she hadn't been doing all the things this year. But I do need some folks to kind of help spearhead that up. We're tossing around things like getting balloon arches and photo booth kind of things set up. We won't have tables and chairs and linens to worry about, so that's good. We should not charge anybody at all to come this year. It should be free, but I would suggest that we do some kind of registration form or RSVP, so we know how many to expect, just from a seating and capacity standpoint, just so we're continuing to be consistent in our expectations of our program with all the COVID protocols. But we'll rent out or borrow the giant screen, the projector, and then we've got the band sound system that's way bigger and louder than the one in the gym already. But just somebody to kind of help spearhead that and keep an eye on that. But we probably need to find somebody in the next 2 weeks, just so we can get all the paperwork turned in and make sure everything's ready to rock and roll.
Well, Bethany and Tammy, our usual go-tos for that, are both senior moms.
Yep.
And typically we don't have senior moms do that.
Very true.
So do we want to add something in the newsletter?
Yeah, maybe like just reach out to Mr. Long, or maybe reach out to the presidents.
Because I am so not creative. Y'all don't want to see what kind of show I'd put on. No.
I can hand out awards and wear a suit. That's as far as that goes for me in award ceremonies.
I can pick some music. I can DJ, but I can't. No.
I know how to make a balloon arch, but that's where I end.
I'll put something in the letter tonight.
Put it in all caps with flashing lights and dancing cheerleaders or something. I don't know.
Abigail May's mom. She's one of our Winter Guard, and her sister in March, wasn't her sister May?
Harry May?
Are you talking about Madeline?
Madeline
May?
mom.
Maddie May, yeah, Maddie May's mom.
She's an orphan
Harry
now.
May.
Yeah.
Yep. She said to me at, competition on Saturday, anything at all that we would need help with. And I know she's done a lot with PTA here, those types of recognition events. She might have some great ideas.
Susan, do you know her really well?
I do.
My neighbor.
Oh, well, both the Susans, y'all are right next to each other on my screen too. Would either of y'all be comfortable reaching out to her and just saying, hey, we could use somebody to spearhead the banquet? It's literally just going to be an award ceremony this year, and making sure we get the facility request turned in and kind of put together logistics about what we want to have set up and kind of how that day will go. And I 100% will work with her on that, because I've got last year's script. I always save that, so we have the flow of what to do.
And remind her she did say anything in air quotes.
I can call her. I was talking to her right before this meeting, so.
Perfect. Anything else?
Does anyone sew?
No.
Huh?
Does anyone sew?
What do you need?
Like what?
So we have the uniforms for the JV.
Mhm.
For Abby May's uniform, we bought her the smallest uniform possible, and it still falls off of her.
I can, yeah.
Okay.
If you
So-
have an idea of how much it needs to be taken in, I can easily do that.
Okay, thank you. Her
Mhm.
mom may be able to, but I was always, I'm always looking for a backup just in
Oh,
case.
yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're like a legit grown up and know how to sew. I have a sewing machine in my garage with dust and I don't know what to do with it. That's awesome. Thank you for doing
I
that.
can rake a
Thank
yard
you.
and sow grass seeds, so I can do that pretty well. But
Yeah,
Angela, I have 3 sewing machines in my house and I don't know how to use a single one. So
We
my
could
mom
be
bought
great.
me one.
All right. Anything else?
That's what
Anyone?
band mamas will be doing at band camp is a sewing camp.
You know, when I was in high school in guard and band, the moms did that. They
Yep.
sewed spangles onto the flags, made the flags. Yeah, so we've got it easy.
Right?
All right. If there's nothing else, we will end this meeting at 7:35 p.m.
you guys and
Motion
gals
to
rock.
adjourn.
Motion.
Woo-hoo.
Go enjoy your dinner, Mr. Long. Did you order it?
PLP, well, Beth ordered it, but PLP, it's the best. It's spinach and basil and green peppers and ricotta cheese and pepperoni. Like it's the most. I'm domesticated now. Pizza for me was Metasaurus Rex or it was pepperoni pizza.
Yeah, you're way too grown up for me. I
I
can't.
mean, right?
And when I'm home alone, it's a habanero barbecue wings all day. Wings all day.
PLP has a good steak and spinach with mushroom pizza. That's delicious.
That's
lost
who we
his
ordered.
mushrooms.
Swim in that Peace Speranza dressing though. That stuff is
Yes.
amazing.
I second.
I get 2 cups with my pizza, please.
Wait, are
Yes.
we approving?
Yes.
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 And everyone's hungry, so
Yeah.
Yes.
Good night, everybody. I'll see half of you in the parking lot in about 20 minutes.
Sounds
Yes,
fantastic.
ma'am.
So last thing, I guess, start next month. We'll meet in person at the school because we'll also need to start voting on things and then like actually have new people there, and it'll be easier to form those bonds with the new folks and kind of get them involved in what's going on that way. Is everybody comfortable with that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Good deal. We'll publish that so people know they can come also. We'll still social distance and all that kind of stuff, but we'll meet on property.
Is
Something-
Teresa's cat coming or no?
I
Yes.
can bring him if you would like. The second I sit down, he props himself in my lap. No, he's sleeping. See? Oh, no, he looked up.
It's like, yes, I'm here.